I'm Terri Savelle. I want to talk to you about the hour of power. You may have heard of Tony Robbins. He's the highest paid motivational speaker out there. And, he claims the majority of his success is due to his hour of power. Think about that. He's taught this to celebrities, professional athletes, Fortune 500 CEOs, the hour of power. Or you listen to people like Brian Tracy. He's one of the experts on goal setting. Now he writes 4 books a year. He speaks 100 times a year. He runs 3 companies, travels all over the world. And people say, Brian, how do you do all this? He said, it's my hour of power. So what in the world is the hour of power? Well, this is what experts recommend, that you invest in yourself 1 hour a day. And here's what you do. 20 minutes to pray or meditate, 20 minutes to read something motivational, the Bible, faith-building books, and 20 minutes to exercise. That's it. That's the hour of power, or some people call it the golden hour. It's time for you to invest in yourself before you invest in anything or anyone else. Well, you think about even when you're on an airplane, you're watching the flight attendant, she's given all these instructions, safety skills, safety instructions, and they always say, put your oxygen mask on first before you attend to anyone around you. Even if you have small children, they say put your oxygen mask on first before you put it on your child. Why is that? Well, you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. Well, it's the same with this hour of power. You're investing in yourself first before you invest in all the responsibilities that you have the rest of the day, including your children, your spouse, your work, everything that's demanding your attention. You're investing in yourself first. Well, what is it that separates successful people from unsuccessful people? It's habits. It boils down to habits. Successful people have successful habits. You may have heard statistics like 95% of those who lose weight gain it back. Why? Habits. They just failed to adapt a habit, a lifestyle of exercising or eating healthy. Or, you may have heard that people who set New Year's goals, 30% they quit the first week. 30%. Well, why'd they quit? Because of habits. They didn't make it a habit. Have you heard this one? That 80% of those who win the lottery, we're talking about millions of dollars that can change your destiny, 80% who win the lottery file bankruptcy within 5 years. That's startling, isn't it? Well, why? It's because of habits. They failed to develop good habits with their spending. So habits can lead you closer to success or further from it. You may have heard this phrase that good habits are hard to form but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form but hard to live with. Well, you might say, Terri, I don't have time to invest this hour of power into my life. I don't have time for this golden hour. You have no idea how busy I am. Well, I completely understand, because for years of my life, I'm talking about 11 years after graduating from college, I never invested this hour of power. I didn't have no such thing as a golden hour in my life. I would wake up at the very last minute, get dressed, put makeup on, and get to work. There was no investing in myself at all for 11 years. But when I started doing this hour of power, starting with just 20 minutes of walking on my street, later I got up to 30 minutes, then I started doing a whole hour. My whole life changed just by investing in myself. And there may be certain areas in your life where you could be, I don't want to offend anybody, but you could be wasting time, but you don't realize you are. For example, they say that 66% of Americans have 3 or more TVs in their house. We got plenty of things to watch, right? Well, on the low end, Americans are watching 2.8 hours of TV every day. So we're talking close to 3 hours a day just watching TV. That's on the low end. Well, they say by the end of your lifespan, that's an average of 9.1 years of your life just sitting there watching someone else live their dreams, right? On the average side, and I don't even know what the high end is, but the average American watches 6 hours of TV every single day. They say by the time you're 60 years old, that's 15 years of your life just watching someone else be successful. So just think about the TV time that we could be wasting if we were just cut out 1 hour a day. In fact, they did a report in Entrepreneur Magazine and found that 63% of the wealthiest people in the world watch less than an hour of TV every day. Another thing is with our phones. They say the average American spends 4.7 hours a day on our phones. Think about that time, 4.7 hours a day. We're awake 15 to 17 hours a day. So that's 1/3 of your whole day staring at this thing or on it constantly. Or you think about social media. That's a big one, of course. The average American checks their social media accounts 17 times a day. That's on average, so that means there's a lot more too. 17 times a day. Now this I thought was kind of funny. Between the age of 24 to 54, we check our phones more than teenagers. That's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? Listen to this. 3.2 hours a day are spent checking Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, social media sites. 3.2 hours a day. You don't even realize, I know I don't realize, the times when you're just sitting there scrolling, looking at one after another, and all of a sudden you'll go, 20 minutes just went by. I cannot believe I've been just sitting here looking at my phone for 20 minutes. Well, what could you accomplish with an extra 1 hour a day? I'm convinced, a month from now, you wouldn't even be thinking the way you think today. You may have heard of the author Jack Canfield, co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He also practices the hour of power. Do you know he's read over 3,000 books? And people say, how have you read that many books? He says a simple dose every day. 20 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of prayer, meditation, and 20 minutes of exercise. So I'm telling you, it would be worth it for you to invest in yourself this 1 hour a day. Do you know one of the top 5 habits of the most successful people in the world? This is one of the top 5. It is. They get up early. Surprise! They wake up early. I'm talking about as far back as Benjamin Franklin. In fact, Benjamin Franklin said that he would get up at 4 o'clock every morning and he would ask himself this question. What good shall I do this day? I do the same thing every morning. I'm just kidding. What good shall I do this day? But 4 o'clock in the morning, Howard Schultz of Starbucks, he said he gets up at 4:30 a.m. every day, walks his dogs, and works out. GE CEO Jeff Immelt gets up at 5:30 a.m., works out, and reads. Xerox CEO Ursula Burns gets up at 5:15, meets with her personal trainer, and responds to emails. Fiat and Chrysler CEO Sergio Marchionne gets up at 3:30 a.m. General Motors CEO Dan Akerson says I rarely sleep past 4:30 a.m. Apple CEO Tim Cook gets up at 4:30. He's at the gym by 5 o'clock. I could go on and on. Disney CEO Bob Iger gets up at 4:30. He reads, he exercises, and listens to audios. I could go one after another. But my point is, they're investing in themselves before they invest in anyone else. And you are worth the investment. Did you know that just getting up 1 hour extra, just 1 hour every day this year would give you an extra 15 days added to your year, to your life? What could you do with an extra 15 days this year? I think you can make a massive impact in your future. You would make strides towards your destiny. Well, Zig Ziglar, I love him. He said, let's replace that word alarm clock with the term opportunity clock. He said an alarm is meant to startle you. We have fire alarms, smoke alarms. That's meant to startle you. Let's rephrase it to an opportunity clock. So as soon as that bell goes off, you think, it's another opportunity to invest in myself. It's another opportunity to make steps closer to my dreams. So I want to challenge you, devote this time to investing in yourself. Practice the hour of power by getting up just 1 hour early. I believe you're worth the investment. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so I can keep you motivated to achieve your dreams. Thank you for watching.